Hello, hello, hello my lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to walk you through how I made this cosplay from Maomao from the Apothecary Diaries, and I'm going to give you a little disjointed con vlog blooper reel thing. I don't know. I'm just noticing that there is a glare on my glasses. Do I have to film the whole video like this? Hello? The glare on my glasses is so distracting and I'm so sorry, but you're gonna have to put up with it because the pollen count is so high and I literally cannot put my contacts in. Thank you guys for understanding. Hang in there if you also have allergies. I did have a much better, well-edited con vlog from last year's Castlepoint. However, when I went to go upload it after I finalized everything... What the fuck is this? That's gonna be in my YouTube video.
Oh wait, me?
Conde one! I love how I'm gonna sleep and then Conde 2! My lobotomy was my flash drive got corrupted. So it is what it is, right? But yeah, anyways, I watched the Apothecary Diaries like late-ish last year in October. Making her cosplay took about 6 months, from deciding which of her outfits I wanted to do, which fabrics I wanted to choose, research into a historical Chinese dress, as well as the actual process of getting it to look like this. Yeah, so let's get started. First, I started simple with the skirt. I made a full circle skirt with about a 2-inch waistband. I should probably also mention that I do have notes at the side here, so I did not memorize this, so please forgive me if I keep glancing over to the side. I followed this tutorial for the waistband. The last time I made a waistband for a circle skirt, the tutorial I was following just told me to measure exactly where to fold and like how to stitch in the ditch. And it was extremely accurate. However, eyeballing it and ironing it was way easier. For the waistband of the skirt, instead of using interfacing, I used tulle because I'm trying to save money and use what I have, and I did have a lot of extra tulle on me, and while it's not ideal, it works. I safety pinned a jade pendant and a little cap bell to the belt. I got this from a friend in middle school and I still have it. And then this cap bell I got from, can you even see it? Hello? This cap bell, my mom brought back from one of her travels. And then I made a separate belt that I could weave the inner green belt through and bring around to tie in the front. Then I cut and sewed the lieu of the hanfu with the exception of the sleeve cuffs and the lapels, which we'll get back to that soon. The lieu of the hanfu is basically like the top part or the overcoat. I am going to be calling it like the outer coat slash inner coat just because I know I'm pronouncing it wrong and I'm really sorry. When I went fabric shopping, my mom actually picked this brocade. It caught her eye immediately and I was like, ooh, it's pretty. When I sewed with it, it ended up very stiff even after ironing and steaming. I was a little nervous, but in the end it looked fine. It looked like it draped the way it was supposed to. This is the website I used for the hanfu pattern. This website has a lot of free resources to make various hanfu from different Chinese dynasties, and it also has a lot of information about how different hanfu in different C-dramas are constructed, as well as tutorials on making different accessories. Like I said earlier, these patterns are free as long as you sign up. So after I signed up, I projected an image of the hanfu pattern onto my closet and I measured each side to make sure that it matched the dimensions in the pattern. And then I taped packaging paper onto my ceiling. No, I didn't. I taped packaging paper onto my wall to trace it, then I cut it out, and then after that I cut and sewed my fabric. After the outer coat was done, I cut all the pieces that I wanted to dye a different color. This is a cotton gauze that I'm using. I dyed the lapels, the sleeve cuffs, the inner coat, and mine and Taylor's sashes. I pre-washed and shrunk these and calculated how much water and dye I would need for each color. I dyed these bright pink, blue, blue-green, and green. Yep. I used red dye, and look, I know everyone tells me not to use red dye, but these were gifted to me and I was resolving as much as possible to use what I have. So I had the colors I needed and I didn't really want to pay extra for anything else, so this is what I used. I also ended up spending a bit more to buy some dye fixative, which was worth it. I'm very happy with the dye results, to the point that when I tried to lighten the dye later on, I could not do it. I think next time I would love to use acid dye. Now that I've experienced what it's like using RIT, especially since RIT uses so much water, I can't wait to use acid dye, you guys. I did put the wrong batch of fabric in the blue dye vat, and everything I dyed green came out just a little too green. I didn't want to spend extra on color remover, so what I did was I mixed 1 part bleach with 3 parts water in a spray bottle, and I laid all the fabric that I wanted to lighten out on my pavement on a sunny day and sun bleached it for about 2 to 3 hours. I wanted to do this for longer, but the time that I was doing this process was in late winter, early spring, so very rarely was there a sunny day. It looked fine, I was just being picky. I sewed the inner coat with the lapel and the sleeve cuffs. I cut off the brocade for the sleeves of the outer coat just a little shorter so you could see the green sleeves on the inside a little better. Now, Maomao doesn't have red sleeve cuffs for her outer coat, but Yona does. Will this be my next cosplay? Maybe. Like everyone says, if you loved Akatsuki no Yona, you will love Apothecary Diaries, and I stand by that. Akatsuki no Yona, I've been reading that thing since I was 15 and I'm now in my mid-20s and I still love it so much. You'll see her eventually. AKA soon. So anyways, I got to styling the wig. Like I said in the very first video I made on this, as well as in the wig styling video, I mashed 2 to 3 of her hairstyles together because I wasn't sure at the time when I first bought the wig which Maomao I was doing. This was my first time crimping and I learned my lesson, and I will crimp before cutting in the future. I have seen cosplayers wear cat ears when cosplaying Maomao, but I wanted to combine the idea with her garden party buns, which led to the removable foam-based cat ear clips. The whole walkthrough for this is in this video, but I do want to add that cosplayers typically add a layer of batting between the foam and the hair. Clearly I didn't do that and I didn't feel like I had to either, but if I did, I'd say it'd add a little more volume and give the hair a stronger surface to grip onto when you're gluing it down. And as you can see, they held up pretty well during the con. Hello, focus please. Okay. I would probably give these a quick hairspray to like smooth down all of these flyaways over here. But otherwise, like, it didn't fall apart, and that's what matters, right? These stayed on while I was dancing, filming, and walking through crowds of people that were way taller than me. I breezed past this part in the last week before the con video that I posted, but I restyled the face framing pieces with steam and hairspray to give it a slight curl. Huge improvement, it looks a lot more natural and I really liked it. And then I crocheted Maomao's necklace using very similar techniques from this video that I last posted in February, January. I could have used some random jewelry from my stash, but I wanted to destash some beads, and I also did kind of want to make her necklace. Unfortunately, I had almost everything I needed. The green beads aren't the color that they are in the anime, but I had these leaf-shaped beads, which I thought would be the perfect little detail. For the pendant, I used a peyote stitch to bead in the shape of a triangle. I said triangle and I'm holding up a diamond. So I beaded in the shape of a diamond for the base, and then I added the leaf beads and sewed the pink flower bead in the middle. I followed a beading tutorial from this book, which I borrowed from the library. There are some awesome hidden gems at your local library, I promise. I found some really great books that I'll be referencing for future projects, and I am super excited. I made a lid for this basket. This was originally a Christmas basket, but I color matched the wood and painted over it. Then I tackled the rest of Jill Warwick's cosplay in the last weekish. I didn't realize that there weren't that many big tasks, but there were a ton of little tasks. And Final Fantasy cosplays are not for the weak, y'all. Everyone who I saw wearing a Final Fantasy cosplay at the con that weekend, you guys looked so good. Oh my goodness. And of course, I wanted to wear a casual cosplay Saturday night for the rave. That was not getting done. So I safety pinned a ribbon and some bows to my mom's sweatshirt. And you know, does this look like Caleb's sweatshirt from Love in Deep Space? Maybe, if you squint hard enough. I tried to make a sweatshirt on the knitting machine. I see people talk about this every once in a while, but knitting machines, while they are faster, the process still takes time, and I think I forget about that all the time because I'm always rushing when I'm using the knitting machine. Unfortunately, I didn't even end up going out on Saturday night, but what we did do was watch Alien Stage and a Love in Deep Space playthrough, so there's that, you know? And I did want to talk a little bit about con crunching and anxiety. I'm not here to give you medical advice, and without going into too much detail, lack of sleep and stress puts a ton of strain on your body and your heart. And I think this is a small ask, but pay attention to what your body needs. Eat, sleep, drink water, and know your limits, please. Because the worst feeling is when all that stress and anxiety builds up and explodes on the weekend that you're supposed to be having fun and celebrating your achievement for finishing a project. And this goes for the arts in general, especially since I know a lot of you came to my page for things besides fandom and cosplay related stuff. But whether you're doing this professionally or as a hobby, regardless of how seriously you're taking it, it is supposed to be fun, and you deserve to celebrate yourself at every step of the way. Sending you hearts, take care of yourselves. Okay, then we got to the day of the con, yippee! Mama and Gyokyo are gossiping. So this was the order in which I put the layers on.
Hashtag Gyokyo for president!
I got that on camera. You guys, I was worried. By the time I got this all on, I was like, oh no, I need to hydrate. It is so hot. This in total was about 8 layers, and the weather was very unpredictable that weekend. I got up around 6:30-ish. I got breakfast and started doing my makeup around 7. I finished around... Hang on, let me double check. I finished doing my makeup around noon. Oh my god. I didn't realize it took me 5 hours to get ready. That's crazy. Cosplayers getting up at 3 and showing up to the con at 1. Oops.
I'm saying I'm so glad we can wear comfy shoes.
Oh, I know. Oh, thank God they can't see our feet. The base of my wig was still showing, so I took some eyelash glue and Honey helped me glue some of the hair to my face. It worked so well that I was still scrubbing it off 2 days later. Did I get it?
No.
Oh. And then it started raining around like 10:30, 11-ish. So we stayed in for pictures and we filmed. You guys, the pictures turned out so nice. I can't even see if I'm in the frame. Love that for me. Does this look right? I think this looks right. Yum 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 yum. Poison! Yippee!
Jingle jingle. Bongo jingle.
Hello. Poison. People were fucking hating on me for, like, someone made an edit to Poison for Apothecary, and I commented on it, and I asked them to make it a sound for the cosplayers, and I was like, your sound editing's so good. I was so excited that I, like, used the wrong terms. And then people were like, oh, be for real, it's the regular sound. Like, it's not that good. I'm like, get the fuck off. I enjoyed the edit.
So mean.
I know. Oh, I got that all on camera. I know. Like, God forbid a girl catches a vibe. Then around 12:30, we finally headed to the con. Parking deck, our favorite place. Yippee!
Yippee! Parking deck.
Right. I kept forgetting to film for this vlog, so here's a bunch of random skits and bloopers. I hope you enjoy. Oh, I just exposed my legs. Oh my god, ankles.
What are we in, the 16th century, girl? Okay. Preparing my tributes for the Hunger Games.
Stop. I got that on camera.
Day 35, I'm still trapped in the parking deck at Castlepoint Anime Convention. Mama's starting to look a little too hungry. Girls, don't do that. Recording, starting 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. I look so dead. My child. Your child? No, I don't think. Is it possible? This is lopsided ass heart. Where are you, honey?
Wait, make the V a little thinner.
And if we're talking, I'll just.
I know! Maomao has cat names.
Maomao, don't hit it off. Don't do it. Don't do it, Maomao. Don't hit it off. No, Maomao.
Let me get my shoes off first, though.
Low key, should I piss first?
Yeah. After the con, any part that I couldn't machine wash, hand wash, or wipe down with a wipe, I sprayed with a mixture of 1 part rubbing alcohol and 3 parts water. You can also use 2 parts vodka and 2 parts water in a spray bottle, I believe. However, I do not drink. Fun fact. Though I often feel like I could use one. Con weekend was so crazy that when Taylor and I were driving back, she asked me what the most memorable part of the con was, and I literally could not answer her. It took me a whole week to actually process what happened, especially on Saturday, because there were a lot more people than I was expecting, I'm not gonna lie. Our experience at Castlepoint from last year was a lot different than this year's, and like not in a bad way. I had a lot of fun. Oh, one of the craziest moments of this con was that one of my YouTube subscribers came up to me and Taylor for a picture, but they didn't realize it was me until after I started uploading con skits. Oh my gosh! It is literally a small world. And I'm not gonna lie, unless any of us in our group are gonna look like we're gonna keel over, Like, come over and say hi. We love making con friends and we love chatting with people. I don't understand when people give you weird looks when you go up to them and you tell them that their cosplay looks really good and you try to start a short conversation and they look at you like don't do that. Don't do that. Like, I'm fairly new to the convention scene, but my favorite part about conventions is those random little interactions of people saying hi, or people starting conversations, or people asking me about my cosplay, or me asking people about their cosplay. Like, those are the most exciting things to me. Like, I love when I feel like I'm finding a little community at a con, because there are not that many spaces that afford those type of interactions. I'll admit I am a little high-strung, but I don't bite. I genuinely do enjoy connecting with people at cons, and it's one of the biggest highlights for me. So, upcoming plans. My next con is in the summer. The next video will be a tutorial. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I will see you then. This is the base of the build for my next cosplay. Don't these kind of look like handles for pool ladders? Guys, I love the hardware store as much as the yarn store. Oh my gosh, you have no idea. I probably should be gatekeeping this, but like the things you can find at the hardware store for way cheaper compared to the craft store, insane. Insane. I love it. I will likely be doing a YouTube video for this one because I'm really excited about it. And I think you will be too if you guys have ever heard of Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. Highly, highly, highly recommend the light novel. And the manhwa, but the light novel it's literally life-changing. I could talk about this for like 30 minutes and not get tired about it. It will change the way you perceive reading and consuming media and being a creator. I'm like getting emotional over it. I read this like 5 months ago. It changed my life. It's that good. I don't know. Like, yeah. I do want to give a special shout out to Ehani and Taylor for being my con buddies, my ride or dies. I love you guys. See, I introduced both of them in the vlog that got corrupted and I never got to upload, but I've known Taylor for about 20 years. I've known Ehani for about 7. Here's to many more years of going to cons together, and maybe I'll see you at a con. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really have an outro for this. If you enjoyed this video, kindly hit the like and subscribe button to join the stitches in our seams, and I will be seeing you next time. Bye!